Then set another date to finish part 2. Do not spend longer than 1 month on each part, or you will lose your momentum. Shoot me an email when you discover your core promise. Shoot me another when you give your first speech. I will follow your journey and send you encouragement throughout our process. Hey, some call it code codependency. Some call it codependency. I choose to call it helpful. Remember, Chastity had 1 week to write her speech. Just imagine what you can do with a lot more time to do the work. Okay, you will be there, right? You don't want that. And whenever I left you, I got something. I got the state of mind stuff like that. State of mind couldn't even let me do anything. It just turned me a lot. It may take life of mine. So for that, I don't want to live. So I want to live with you always, daily, forever. Are you going to have? Come on. Are you going to? Come on. Let's create a greatest, healthiest, happiest life. Okay. So most successful. Even you can say most sexiest, greatest, healthiest life, happiest life, by reading self-improvement books, by reading women empowerment books daily, by taking notes, okay, and by applying those principles in home, in traveling, in road, in your workplace, in your office, store, restaurant, wherever, okay, mall, wherever you are working. Apply these principles. Self-improvement books. Search online and purchase the book and read this. Listen summaries also you can on YouTube. Okay, now let's start the book. Yes, are you going to have to dig a bit to get to the juicy stuff? You better believe it. But don't worry, the message of you is more than a book. It's a community and a moment. Come take this journey with me. Speak your message and change lives, including your own. Great. Change for greatness. Change for happiest, healthiest, greatest, and win-win life. For my own, for others, for all over the world, every human being. Then forever. Chapter 1 Checklist. Got a buddy, myspeakerbuddy.com. Then gathered my supplies, notebook or laptop and recorder. Okay. Electronic mail. Email Jody. My commitment pledge. Commitment at the message of you.com. Set a date to finish part 1. Set a date to finish part 2. Book name me. Yeah. Book name of prosperous all forever, lotness daily forever. All. Lotness all forever. 3 healthy, wealthy, happy all forever. Great. Chapter 2 Commit to the basics. Congrats, you have just committed to being a part of a great industry called the professional speaking business. Welcome. If you are just starting out, you might not know anything about the business of speaking. After all, becoming a professional speaker wasn't exactly a choice on career day at my high school. As a matter of fact, when I tell people I speak for a living, they look at me in astonishment and ask, "You actually get paid to do that?" Getting paid to share the message of you takes a basic understanding of the industry itself and where you might fit. No worries, no worries. You don't have to learn a totally different language of acronyms or master in technical procedures or sign up for drug testing. You just need to establish your speaking goal and have a working grasp of some basic terms to get started. Yeah, uh, great. Your speaking goals. Each person reading this book has a different agenda. Some of you already have a speech and you want to make it funnier. Some of you are funny and you are looking for the message behind your jokes. Some of you make a living as an actor or a singer and you are looking for a new performance opportunities. Some of you have an urgent message you want to share with the world. Some of you are absolutely terrified to step on stage. It's important to me that every person reading this book is successful because if I can help you to inspire others, if I can help you write a funny speech, if I can help you make a living doing something you love doing, then I have made the world a little bit funnier, a little less boring, and a little more hopeful. Yeah, better also. Not that I hold myself to impossible standards or anything. Read through these descriptions of speaker categories and figure out where you fit. Then I'm going to ask you to evaluate your current speaking goals and most important to make a commitment to finish your speech and to present it in front of a live audience. You can do this. No sweat. Here we go. So here we go. The pros. If you fall into this category, you probably or already have a working speech that you use and that serves you well. But even established pros are anxious to take their careers to the next level. Your challenge will be to try something different, such as adding more humor, more personal stories, or uncovering a new message and writing a speech on a completely different topic. The pros: the National Speakers Association has 5,000 members across 36 local chapters. The demographic of professional speakers is relatively gen, relatively gender neutral, with men at 53% and women at 47%, and the majority between the ages of 46 and 55. and 55. On the whole, they are an educated bunch with 35% holding master's degrees and another 14% with doctorates. In the next 10 years, the NSA expects their membership increase by increase by 20%, meaning that for inspiring pros out there, aspiring aspiring pros out there, the speaking circuit is expanding to include you. One of the biggest problems pro speakers have is that they ride the coattails of a speech they wrote 15 years ago. Can you say still, hey, Neil Armstrong, it's been a long time since you walked on the moon. How about a couple of different stories? All right, that was a big deal, and we all want to hear story. But if you are still relating anecdotes that about meeting Nixon, it's time to update your material into these times. It's not enough to have one speech. If you want to be rebooked for the same company or next year's convention, you have got to have a new speech every year. I have worked with past presidents of the National Speakers Association with help them write their new speeches, and it doesn't matter how many times they have stepped on stage. The minute they see that blank page in front of is in front of him, they are reduced to a puddle of fear and anxiety. Actually, I have found that the more successful a speaker is, the harder is to the hard the harder is to try something new. It doesn't matter if you have sorry it doesn't matter if you have been at it for years. When you are working on a brand new speech, you feel like a novice. You have no idea where to start, and you often find yourself in those well-worn routes you have used to travel all this time. To get out of those ruts, ruts, I suggest you focus on chapter 3, where I show you how to CSI your life lessons for the message of your new speech. For you overseas readers, CSI is an acronym made popular from a TV show. Okay, details of an event to find its meaning. I have taken artistic license. Hard artistic lessons, and I'm using it as a verb. Rent speech with a fresh eye can turn a good speech into a great eye. Okay, I can turn a good speech into a great one and make the difference between charging $1,500 per appearance or $25,000 just to show up. The main component you might be funny, lacking funny. You need to add a heaping dose of funny to your material, and you need to make sure the humor is consistently present throughout your speech. I have seen speakers open with a funny story. Wha- Okay, funny story, but once they okay, but once they get to content, things get serious and it's long ride to the next laugh. As a matter of fact, the funnier you are, the more effective your speech will be. Studies have shown that when material is presented with humor, it is okay, humor. It raises the retention rates. If it's okay, it's no wonder that politicians, marketing executives, and copyrights are different. More effective. As a matter of fact, the funnier you are, the more effective your speech will be. Studies have shown that when materials is presented with humor, it raises the studies have shown that when material is presented with okay, effective speech will be your speech will be Lacking funny, you need to add a helping dose of funny to your material, and you need to make sure the humor is consistently present throughout your speech. I have seen speakers open with a funny story, but once they get to content, things get serious, and it's a long ride to the next laugh. As a matter of fact, the funnier you are, the more effective your speech will be. Studies have shown that when material is presented with humor, it raises the retention rates. It raises the retention rates. It's no wonder that politicians, marketing executives, and copywriters all use comedy writers to punch up their material because humor makes audiences take notice and retain information. So follow along the uncover, or maybe rediscover the message of you. And in part 2 chapter 15, even if you are a tax attorney, I will show you how to keep the audience laughing throughout your entire speech. The tickies. There are a whole there are a whole Hey, wake up, come on, come on. Okay, chapter 15. Even if you are a tax attorney, even if you are even if you are a tax attorney, I will show you how to keep the audience laughing throughout your entire speech. The techies. There are a whole slew of techie speakers who have extraordinarily specific and technical expertise in their fields. You are the beta testers and the first adapters In fact, if you are a techie reading this book, you probably downloaded it in digital format if it's not a legal download. Okay. In fact, if you are a techie reading this book, you probably downloaded it in digital format. If it's not a legal download, I'm coming with handcuffs and no, you won't enjoy it. If it's not a legal download, I'm coming with handcuffs and no, you won't enjoy it. Break out of the break out of the break breakout sessions. Very often techies get stuck as lower paid breakout session speakers. How to breakout sessions are the workshops that are offered during a convention and attendance is optional. The audiences are smaller, better, usually more attentive, and the pay is much lower than a general session with a keynoter, which is usually mandatory for the entire audience. For techies to become a keynoter, I recommend really paying attention in chapter 3, where I will ask you to go beyond the data that you know and travel to a distant universe where few techies have gone, your emotions and passions, and revealing a little about your life. And I'm not talking about the emotional experience of accidentally dropping your iPhone in the toilet. And I'm not talking about the emotional experience of accidentally dropping your iPhone in the toilet. You can be a financial advisor, a social media expert, a software engineer, or an actuary. You are what I call pure content speakers or techies without stepping on your toes. Some of your presentations, while important and much in demand, can also be absolutely painful to sit through. Come on. Come on. That is also a purple cow. The main thing is the biggest purple cow is that. Okay. While important and much in demand, can also be absolutely painful to sit through. Come on. You know what I'm talking about. You have been trapped in a folding chair listening as your company sales director plodded through a humorless PowerPoint with 2 hours of slides filled with with mind-numbing charts and graphs, even if the topic was relevant to your job and informative. Great. informative. By the time all was said and done, you'd turned into a zombie drained of your life force. If you are currently working as a content speaker or aspire to make your break in business and or technical speaking, I don't mean to discourage you. In fact, I'm here to encourage you. Content doesn't have to be boring. It doesn't have to be pure facts and figures. Most content speakers usually focus 80% of their speech on their expertise instead of sharing the lessons learned from their personal life and relating those lessons back to the technical content. Okay, from this, making your message stick. You can't just have a lot of mind numbing numbers in your speech. If people don't remember what you say, you, you might as well not say it. By including personal stories, you can make your message stick. Brian Lord, speaker agent, VP of Premier Speakers Bureau. These two. No doubt. Ways. Okay, case study. Philippa games. Because from the learning of this. Yeah. Case study. Philippa games. Gamse, speaker and author of 42 Rules for a Web Presence. That means my area of expertise is web and social media strategy, and and I never expected to hear anyone say you changed my life, but it happened. People in my audiences have said that I have changed their lives because I have changed how they think about their approach to their online presence. They behave differently and see see great results. This has led me to conclude that all speakers are motivational speakers. You are okay. This has led me to conclude that all speakers are motivational speakers. We are all hoping to influence our audiences to think, feel, or act differently in some regard. Yeah. Take, for example, my client Becky Buckley, who is a certified financial planner. She came to see me because she wanted to grow her business by speaking to women's group. Her presentations were full of all kinds of helpful numbers and lists, but they were easily dismissed as boring death by PowerPoint financial talks. It wasn't un- until she dug into her own personal experiences that that her speech really came to life. Becky had been deeply touched by working with one particular client, a newly widowed woman who didn't even know the passwords to her husband's bank accounts. The widow was on the verge of becoming homeless, and Becky had to become more than just her accountant. Yes, these are liabilities on this. Okay, Becky became Becky became her lifeline, and through their friendship, her client prospered. More important, Becky realized that there was a real need among women to take better control of their finances. As I pushed her to tell me more, it became very clear that Becky didn't just want more clients. She wanted to make a difference in the lives of women. She had a mission, a message she wanted to impart. She wanted to empower women, but she wasn't going to do it with charts and graphs. She had to dig deep, but herself out there and tell her heart story to the story of how her unlikely friendship with the widow in sorry enriched both of their lives and launched her new career. It's a speech that not only gets her standing ovations, but now she's got more clients than she can handle. Becky is well on her way to becoming the next Suze Orman, just like Becky. Each and every one of us has a gift to give the story of our lives. Chapter 13 will assist you to find the perfect personal story that drives home your message, turning facts and figures into memorable moments, helping your audience connect to the facts and figures using personal stories, experiences, and humor can turn a twice a year technical presentation into an in-demand hot topic for the speaking circuit and a techie up to bump a techie up to a pro. The entertainers. There is a major problem happening for performers, and it knows there is a major problem happening for performers, and I call it the phenomena of bringer shows, where a comic or singer or performer must not only produce their own show, but they have to guarantee a certain number paying or of paying audience members before they are even allowed to perform. That in two words that sucks. Okay, a lot to perform. In two words, that sucks. The speaking profession is a way of for comics, actors, dancers, mimes, jugglers, singers, and storytellers to get off the couch, stop waiting for the phone to ring, and step in front of an appreciative audience for a full hour in front of a sold out house with no hecklers, and don't have to produce the and you don't have to produce the the show. The only thing you have to bring is a great speech with an appealing message. Case study: Lola Gilbard, speaker and humorist. The entertainment industry might be notorious for ageism, but the speaking industry actually wants you to look, act, and be older. Humorist Lola Gilbard gets speaking gigs and she's in her 80s. When was the last time you saw an 80-year-old female comic with her own special on, on Comedy Central? Never. Mike Rayburn had a successful comedy guitar act, even playing Carnegie Hall, but he wanted to do more than make people laugh. He wanted to change people's lives. After years of trial and error, he found his message about showing people to not to be stopped by their own limitations. In his speech, he comes on with his guitar, but then his music and humor become the vehicle to communicate his message. He illustrates his points with his guitar. As a speaker, I wanted the audience. Okay. He found his message about showing people to not be stopped by their own limitations. Dude, yeah. For, for your dream work, appreciating for work, something remarkable to do in their field is also prevention of keeping mind focused on 80-20 rule of life. 80% discipline, learning, working life, and 20% enjoyable, joyful life with your life partner, wife, GF. In his speech, he comes on with his guitar, but then his music and humor become the vehicle to communicate his message. He illustrates his points with his guitar. As a speaker, I wanted the audience to walk anyway laughing and loving the message. The results: in 2011, Mike was inaugurated into the National Speakers Association's Hall of Fame and is one of America's top keynote speakers. Many of you entertainers have probably performed at corporate gigs, usually doing your yes. That person was yes. That person was performing well, man. I went, I went there once. There a lot of people went there for seeing that what's happening. Have probably performed at corporate gigs, usually doing your act after an awards dinner or emceeing a sales convention or singing after lunch. Actually, corporate gigs are where most celebrity comics make a bulk of their income. In Jerry Seinfeld's documentary, comedians Jay Leno makes a point to say that he doesn't spend a dime of his tonight show money but lives nicely on his speaking engagements and live shows. Leno's current fee is Leno's current fee is $160,000 for a corporate event. Okay, case study from stand up to speaking. After I performed my speech for the first time, a a woman from the audience hugged me and said thank you for your message. I had touched wow, sharing that okay, this happened, that happened. It touches because it happens, yeah, in reality. Whatever happened with you, it happens with lot of people. So, and she shared this message. She got it. Marina, ma'am, touched her, and that is way, yes, I had touched her, and that is way more gratifying than the free hot wings offered by most comedy clubs. Jack, okay, Jackie Fabulous offered by most comedy clubs. Jackie Fabulous, speaking student and pro comic on moving from stand up to speaking. In other words, the real money is in speaking, and here, in other words, the real money is in speaking, and here is the big secret about the industry. You don't have to be a celebrity to make that serious money. Yes, if you are the host, the host of your own late night TV show, you will be getting speaking fees of yes of you will be getting yes if you are the host of your own late night TV show television show, you will be getting speaking fees of 106,000 sorry yes one $160,000 and more. But since meeting planners are desperate for funny speakers, there is room for those of us who have little or no media exposure to command high fees. It is truly possible to make a decent living and still be creative, inventive, and original. It's not selling out, it's working. It's not just selling out, it's working with the bonus of getting paid, entertaining, and making people laugh and making a difference in people's lives. Yeah, you have to work clean and can't say George Carlin's seven dirty words, and that's why when I'm on the road after a speech, I will hop into a comedy club where I can say exactly what I want. Okay, case study. Steve Rizzo, speaker and humorist. As a comic turned speaker, Steve Rizzo got successful fast as he had what many speakers don't have. He is funny in the in these atheist. Steve was a comic. Rizzo. Rizzo. Steve was a comic headlining comedy clubs and appearing on TV, but something was missing. There is a teacher part of me that wasn't being used as a comic. That's when I discovered speaking. At the time he transitioned to speaking. Drew Carey was Steve's roommate and said, "You are not going to do this speaking crap, are you?" I told Drew that I wanted to make a difference in other people's lives. I wanted to give people useful tools while I entertained them. I found my message by looking at how I personally used humor and positive thinking to build up my self-esteem. Once I had my message, companies started booking me. I have made 10 times. Once I had my message, companies started booking me. I have made 10 times the amount of money I made as a comic. Steve Rizzo speaks on using your sense of humor and the power of positive thinking and the power of positive thinking to overcome obstacles. His presentation is called Laugh It Off. You owe it to yourself. Owe it to yourself. There are two ways companies and organizations use entertainers as performers and as speakers. And what is the difference between an entertainer hired to give a show and to entertain and an entertainer hired to give a keynote? Oh, $20,000. Oh, around $20,000. I was hired by an insurance company to do a 1 hour funny motivational speech on a week cruise in the Caribbean. The comics on board in the Caribbean. The comics on board were hired by the ship. One of them had just done Letterman the week prior. They were housed in the bow of the ship. Had to do 4 shows a week and were paid $1,500 total. I was flown first class, allowed to travel with a friend, given a deluxe room, and had all expenses paid. On the last day, I gave a 1 hour keynote address at 8 a.m. My fee of that was dollar was that okay. That was $25,000. There is the difference. Okay. There were housed in the bow of the ship, had to do 4 shows a week, and were paid $1,500 total. I was flown first class, allowed to travel with a friend, given a deluxe room, and had all expenses paid. On the last day, I gave a 1 hour keynote address at 8. On the last day, I gave a 1 hour keynote address at 8 a.m. My fee for that was $25,000. There is the difference. The challenge of you entertainers to become higher paid speakers is to add the message of you to your routine. Unlike techies who have an overabundance of content with few laughs, entertainers need to create content that has value for an audience. Being an entertainer is often about getting laughs, applause, and acknowledgments. On the other hand, speaking is about giving an audience empathy, solutions, and practical advice. The goal for you entertainers will be not only adding a sincere message of you to your performance, but actually giving the audience solid action steps on how your advice can improve their lives. I highly suggest braving it through a part 1, where you find your core promise as well as developing action steps that can bring an audience closer to their goals. The entrepreneurs offline is the new online, along with a strong web presence. Yeah, speaking is an essential tool for entrepreneurs. Face to face is the new interface. Wow, face to face is the new interface. UI, UX. Okay, the vast majority of speakers stepping on stage to attempting to break into the market are entrepreneurs, ambitious ambitious go-getters who pursue speaking opportunities to find new clients to sell their products and supplement their income. If you fit into this category, you might work in sales, consulting, and management for financial, government, and or educational institutions. But you also might be self-published. But you also might be self-published authors, freelancers, or small business owners, or maybe you are an inventor who's figured out a method to lose weight using rubber bands in a whole new way. To lose weight using rubber bands in a whole new way. Product promotion. The late Steve Jobs, founder and former CEO of Apple, Chief Executive Officer of Apple, turned his speech to introducing new products into an art form, dressed in jeans and a turtleneck, never standing in front of a podium, but rather strolling on stage. He never let the fact that he was a techie turn his speeches into a mechanical recitation of bytes of jargon. jargon. Rather, he connected on a human level using stories about how Apple products change the lives of the people who use them. It may it may have looked like Jobs was talking off the cuff, but he admitted to spending a great deal of time memorizing and rehearsing his speeches. That's a brilliance of a great speaker, making a well-rehearsed speech look improvised. The result was massive sales. May, maybe not, but not just because maybe not just because of his speech. A great speech is absolutely essential for anyone. A great speech is absolutely essential for anyone who wants to promote their products or services. Products or services. I know when my speech hits be- home. I know when my speech hits home because there is a long line at the back of the room waiting to buy my books, CDs, and DVDs. If you are an entrepreneur, you know that already know that there is no substitute for personal relationships and name recognition. Speaking rather speaking Speaking rather than tweeting can be a way to attract new customers, especially now when we are all overwhelmed with impersonal web relationships. Offline is the new online, meaning face-to-face human intentions is still the most powerful way to get new clients and to sell products and services. Alright, with that, nobody wants to sit, meaning face to face human interaction is still the most powerful way to get new clients and to sell products and services. With that said, nobody wants to sit through a 1 hour sales pitch, and believe me, audiences will have no patience if they sense you are a salesman using your speech just to move merchandise or drum up or drum up business. At a book signing, authors can no longer just read from their books. They have to connect with their audiences, move them, and inspire them in using a well thought of a well thought out speech. A well thought out speech. If your goal is to If your goal is to speak to get more clients or sell products, your challenge will be to create a keynote that has value in and of itself. It has to be informative, helpful, and motivational. It has to be informative, helpful, and motivational. If your goal is to speak to get more clients or sell products, your challenge will be to create a keynote that has value in and of itself. It has to be. It has to be informative, helpful, and motivational. Yeah. Book signing, authors can no longer just read from their books. They have to connect with their audiences, move them, and inspire them using a well thought out speech. A well thought out speech. If your goal is to speak to get more clients or sell products, your challenge will be to create a keynote that has value in and of itself. It has to be informative. It has to be informative, helpful, and motivational. Pay close attention. Pay close attention to chapter 3. Attention to chapter 3, where you will discover your personal stories that will ultimately become your heart story. If you really connect to people with your speech, then after you speak, there will be a long line at the back of the room to buy your book. Sign on to your timeshare. Sign on to your share timeshare, or even hire you for your next gig. Some entrepreneurs will speak for free and come home with $20,000 in back of the room sales. Okay, sales and survivors. The survivors, as I call them, are everyday people whose lives were rocked to the core by either a monumental event such as surviving a climb up a Mount Everest, winning an Olympic medal, or writing this damn book. But seriously, some of you have survived tragedy such as living through a plane crash or swimming through a tsunami. Oh my gosh. Or tsunami, or something much more intimate and personal, like filing for divorce, losing your only son, or fighting drug addiction. You are the people. You are the people actively seeking the meaning of your lives. You are the baby boomers, retirees, and cancer survivors who want to pass on your wisdom. On your wisdom, you are the laid off. You are the you are the laid off. Yeah. So this is how it goes, right? Yeah. Great. So like this, and then by this, yeah, there are yes, laid off, underemployed workers who found a second chance and a second paycheck. You are the experts of your own lives. You have something of your own lives. You have something to say and you want to help. You have something to say and you want to help other people who mean who may be struggling with similar issues. Your demographics cross every age, race, and gender divide, divide, gender divide. You currently work or have worked in every possible job imaginable. You want to make sense out of your struggles, and you want to inspire, motivate, and be applauded for having made it to the other side. Perhaps you want to heal yourself by helping to heal others. From storytelling to speaking, you can't just depend on your survivor story to speak. To be a paid speaker, you have to figure out how people can apply what what you have learned to their everyday life to make okay to make the leap from storyteller to motivational speaker. You have to connect the dots, break down the steps for the audience on how they can make changes in their life. Find one thing that they can do today rather than change their whole life. Brand loudspeaker agent, VP of Premier Speakers Bureau. Okay, maybe struggling with similar issues. Demographics across every age, race, and gender divide. You currently work or have worked in every possible job imaginable. You want to make sense out of your struggles, and you want to inspire, motivate, and be applauded for having made it to the other side. Perhaps you want to heal yourself by yeah, uh, helping to heal others. Case study W. Mitchell. W. Mitchell was burned over 65% of his body when a laundry truck turned in front of the motorcycle turned when a laundry truck turned in front of the motorcycle he was riding in San Francisco. His face and hands were badly scarred, and he lost most of each of his 10 fingers. Then, just 4 years later, he crashed a small aircraft he was piloting and injured his spinal cord, leaving him paralyzed from the waist down. Oh my God! Oh my God! God bless to him. God bless to him. Give, give goodness to him, God. Peace forever. W. Mitchell speaks on its own, on it's not what happens to you, it's what you do about it. It's what you do about it. He not only inspired he not only inspires his audience to shift their attitudes about living with paralysis and facing life's problems, he has improved the quality of his own life tremendously by opening up and telling his telling his story. He has a thriving career and has become a millionaire with homes in Santa Barbara and Hawaii. Hawaii. W. Mitchell didn't set out to become a millionaire, and I am certain when his plane went down, he wasn't thinking, how can I profit from this moment? But Mitchell found a reason to live, found a reason to speak, and by speaking, created an entirely new life. Okay, many survivor speakers start their careers by speaking for free to non-profit organizations, schools, churches, any any place they can reach others with their message. One of my speaking agents, Art, was swamped with offers to speak at drug rehab clinics. Art had been a homeless drug addict who got off drugs, went back to school, and became a therapist. His story was compelling and helpful to other recovering addicts, but the rehabs couldn't pay him to speak. Had Art had to pick and choose which speaking engagements he could afford to take time off from work and drive to the locations. Talks his talks were always meaningful and met with appreciation, but he didn't feel he was making a big enough difference. He wasn't able to reach a larger audience. with his message, and it was actually costing him money to speak. He still wanted to be an activist for addicts, but he had to find some way to fund his philanthropic efforts. We worked together. We worked together to expand his message include a business angle. His core promise became getting past addictive behaviors, changing habits, and committing to a clear vision of your dreams. It was a speech that remained true to his experience and message, but also one he could sell to a corporate audience. Art booked his first paying gigs and now uses the money he makes speaking on corporate stages to support the work he does gratis for drug rehabs. She's hot. Yeah, always appreciate your wife, your your life partner. Make great relationships forever. In other words, to take your story of survival into the corporate speaking market, you need to have more than a great heart story. You need to have more than a great heart story. You have to bridge the gap between your personal experience. You have to bridge the gap between your personal experience of surviving a tiger attack and the experience of an administrative aid, dealing with nasty clients all day long. If if you have worked hard to overcome illness, if you have worked hard to overcome illness, if you have worked hard to overcome illness, poverty, or divorce, then sharing your strategies for success in the form of action steps can not only assist others but can become a full-time career. Some of you have more personal topics. Some of you have more personal topics, including self-improvement, relationships, and women's issues. Probably 80% of your speech will focus. Probably, probably 80% of your speech will focus on your heart story, the journey you took to survive lymphoma, to climb Kilimanjaro, to move from poor to rich. Just be aware that survivors must still qualify. Just be aware that survivors must still qualify to speak by also having academic, professional, professional or business experience. This includes your college degree, your job, your accolades, the professional initials that follow your name, the book you wrote, your charity work, the plays you have been in, or the articles that ran about you in your local newspapers. If you fit into this speaking category, focus intently on chapter 3 to find the message that runs underneath the story of your journey, as well as chapter 4 where you qualify to speak by accentuating your credentials. the novices. Last but certainly not least are you novices who might find yourself forced on stage. You are the speakers who must speak as part of your job, or like Chastity Davis from the last chapter, you got roped into a presentation after a couple of drinks. In rare instances, novices will step on stage in the hopes that you can jump start and stalled career, grab that promotion, or lay the groundwork for a raise. Mostly novices are regular people with absolutely no experience who find themselves on stage sweating, terrified, and miserable. You buy books to help learn presentation skills, but you realize, but you realize, okay, but you realize you have no speech. That's when the fear kicks in hard. I totally get it. Even though I work constantly, I have suffered through 17 years of stage fright. It can be pure torture to see a speaking date circled on your calendar, looming over you, filling you with dread. It's like being in seventh grade, knowing you have to give an oral book and report, and you never read the book. You have no idea how you are going to fake it. You have no what idea what to say. As adults, our fears can intensify, but to be on the fast track to success and promotion, will we all have to present our ideas to an audience. Learning how to be a better, more entertaining speaker, and thus getting positive results from speaking will assist you in turning speaking into a positive experience rather than one of humiliation. After all, after all, if 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 where is that? Where is that? Okay, in academic. After all, if after all, if after after all, if after you speak, you have people coming up to you saying nice things, hugging you, and telling you what a difference you make. Well, that might make going through the fear worth it. It can also improve your value in your current job. Dave Orris. Dave Orris worked as a corporate manager of a national supermarket chain in addition to maintaining and managing a small office staff. Most most days would find him out in the field supervising and training store employees and interfacing with the vendor community as part of his job. Each as part of his as part of as part of his job, each week he had to give a report in front of the staff, and each time he was filled with dread. After attending a seminar led by popular motivational speaker Ed Foreman, Dave thought, if I could learn to inspire my teams as Ed inspired me and the other attendees, what lofty goals could my teams achieve? He gave himself a challenge and joined Toastmasters International and began honing his presentation skills. As those skills grew, so did Dave's responsibilities, and visibility visibility within the company. More important, so did the effectiveness of devs teams as they set new measurable standards of excellence. The economic downturn took its toll on its toll on even the best managed companies. Layoffs were inevitable. The year 2010 was accompanied by a 90% reduction in dev's department alone. A dev was told there was no doubt that his ability to effectively communicate, lead, and inspire others factored into the decision to retain his position within the company. Pros in training. Toastmasters International is a non-profit organization that has 20 that has 270,000 upwardly mobile members, including me, in 13,000 clubs in California alone. There are 989 registered weekly Toastmasters meetings. My fellow members are ambitious go-getters who pursue speaking opportunities to find new clients to supplement their income and for overall career advancement. They are actively improve working to improve their presentation skills. One of our mottos is become the speaker and leader you want to be. You want to be. It's natural to be frightened of speaking in front of others, but if you have a great message along with a thought out, well thought out, and rehearsed speech, 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 that can go a long way to fighting fear. Pay special attention to the last chapter of part 1 for a primer on how to deal with fear, and then focus on part 2 where I will guide you to write an entertaining speech with content and laughs. I will show you how to use quote promise, a hard story, and action steps to build your speech. But like I mentioned before, I shouldn't be a daunting process. While other types of speakers may use this book to punch up their content heavy PowerPoint to try to rebrand themselves in a completely new market, you are in the inviolable position of having a blank slate. You can pursue any segment of the market you choose, and you have the advantage of looking at your life with brand new eyes. What you see will then become what you say. A super cool way to discover a whole new perspective cover a whole new perspective on your life and your career. After all, having people hug you after a speech, or asking for your autograph, hiring you or hiring you for their conference, or just keeping your job can be a real self-esteem booster. Nothing like a love fest to turn those novice fears into I wanna do it again excitement. Exercise your speaker profile. You may think that answering the questions below before you have even writing one word of your speech is putting the cart before the horse, but I beg to differ. Identifying the kind of speaker you currently are or aspiring to be will help you to hone in one on the message of you and where you fit into the speaking business. After reading the above descriptions, you probably have an idea of which category you mostly fit into, and some of you might fit into more than one. Okay, 30 seconds. Okay, yeah, yeah, okay, come on, man. You might be a pro who is also an entertainer, or a survivor who is also an entrepreneur. Okay, or a tap dancing techie who owns a tap dance. Tap dancing. Tap dancing techie who owns a t-shirt business and survived being hit by a train. Stranger things have happened. You also might have a hint now of your speaking goals in this exercise. Write for 20 minutes without stopping and answer the questions below. I am speaking because it's part of my job. Or if so, how can being an inspiring speaker assist me with my job? How can speaking help me receive a promotion or keep my job if there are cutbacks? To am I speaking because I have a message I want to share with the world? What would be the results of being able to truly motivate and inspire others? 3. Am I trying to Am I trying to broaden my client base? How how would speaking help to increase the number of clients? 4. Am I already considering an expert? Are there companies or media outlets that hire experts in my field to speak? Which companies or shows? Which companies or shows? Which companies or shows? So it 'Yes. 5. What do I expect to get out of speaking? In other words, am I doing it for money, career advancement, or inspiration? 6. Is there an organization or a cause I want to present? Sorry, or a cause I want to represent or promote? What is it? How would speaking about my personal experiences help promote that organization? 7. What are my entertaining skills, such as singing, juggling, comedy, magic, etc.? etc. etc. Is there a message that I could add to my current act? What are the hidden talent I can add to my speech? 8. How can I activate the social media platform I already have in place via my Facebook page and my Twitter account or my blog account? Blog. Could I create a speech that would appeal to my followers, that would escalate me to celebrate status? 9. Am I trying to create a new revenue stream? How would speaking increase my current income? Case study: the passing zone. The passing zone. The passing zone is one of the most successful and sought after keynote speaking terms working today. They are jugglers. That's right. Owen Morse and Joe V are a juggling duo with four Guinness World Records, 18 gold medals from the International Jugglers Association, and appearances on many national TV shows. John and Owen illustrate to corporate America the fundamentals of teamwork by juggling chainsaws. Their act is an example of the collaboration between two people who rely on each other's strengths, who communicate, trust, and have fun of cooperating. Looking over your answers determine which category or categories you currently fall into. Pro, techies, entertainer, survivor, novice. Survivor, novice. Okay, now ask yourself what is your biggest challenge as a pro, techie, entertainer, survivor, or novice. Whether it's writing a second speech, adding a hard story, or adding a hard story, or adding a hard story. Or getting over first time speaking jitters. It will assist you in your process by getting yourself some goals. Matter of fact, I'm here to help you. Email me your goals at commitment at the rate the message of you.com, and I will help keep you on track so you can make your goals a reality. Becoming clear about your speaking goals will help to clarify message of you the message of and save you valuable time as you begin to research speaking opportunities. Because and here is the great news: there are endless opportunities to launch your career as a speaker corporate. So let's go, let's do it. You did it. You have completed, man. Yeah, obviously, by the help of people, by the help of you guys, by the help of my effort my efforts, by the help of my teachers, my parents, my god, okay, this nature god, this earth, universe, galaxies, whole, and by the help of gods, and by the help of teachers, especially teachers, by the help of everybody who helped me, okay, my brothers, sisters, friends, co-workers in my working place, okay, everyone who has helped me any time. America is desperate for great speakers with a strong message sprinkled with laughs, okay, with laughs. Just look at the numbers. America is desperate. 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 America is desperate for great speakers with a strong message sprinkled with laughs. With a strong message sprinkled sprinkled with ha 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 laughs. Just look at the numbers. 11 million meetings occur in the US each and every day. Source meetings in America. 37% of employee time is spent in meetings. Source National Statistics Council. 37% of employee time is spent in meetings. Source National Statistics Council. 102.3 billion was spent on business meetings and events worldwide. Source meetings in America. 102.3 billion was spent in business meetings and events worldwide. Source meetings in America. There are 57,000 meetings and convention planners currently employed. Source US Department of Labor. The convention business is expected to grow 16% between 2008 and 2018, faster than the average for all other occupations, source US Department of Labor. In other words, there are far more speaking opportunities than there are trained speakers. Meeting planners are desperate for well prepared, inspiring speakers and are willing to pay them good money. The opportunities are not limited to the United States. Meeting professionals International has over 20,000 active members, and the professional speaking industry is an English language based career. In fact, the Global Speakers Federation requires that English is either the first or second language of their members. Federation members include Australia, Canada, Malaysia, New Zealand, Singapore, South Africa, South Korea, the Netherlands, the United Kingdom, and the USA, United States of America. How cool is it to be paid to vacation? Uh, what do speakers speak about? There are many hundreds of different topics that speakers cover, including personal development, business issues, diversity programs, personal development, diversity programs, leadership, sales, customer service, teamwork, organization, and motivation. The list is endless. That's why the focus of this book is helping you to determine what constitutes a bookable topic. Yes, what constitutes a bookable topic? Simply put, these are the topics that audiences will pay to hear. Just because you are an expert on a certain topic doesn't mean you can get paid to talk about it. Now, for many speakers who have to speak at their job, who 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 have to speak at their job, or who speak for charity, choosing a bookable topic is not an issue. You may even have an assigned topic and have no choice about it. For those who, for but for those of you but for those of you who would like to make a living as a speaker, or rest or, or are starting with a blank slate, you must take into account the topics considered hot by companies and organizations. Choosing a bookable topic is an important component when putting together a commercially viable core promise. You are of core promise for your speech and developing your message of your brand. In chapter 4, I'll lead you through a in chapter I'll lead you through a few exercises to determine which bookable topic is right for you. Where do speakers speak? Speakers speak at conventions, expos, business meetings, women's groups, charity events, fundraisers, hospital events, schools, churches, and TED Talks. Basically, anywhere people gather. I myself have spoken on large rock and roll style stages, as well as in hotel banquet halls, cruise ships, classrooms, auditoriums, parks, not to mention outside on the seventh hole of a golf course. Note to self: do not wear spike heels when walking on a lawn. The TED Talks. TED started in 1984 as a conference bringing people together from three different worlds: technology, entertainment, and design. The stated mission of the nonprofit is to build a clearing house that offers free knowledge and inspiration from the world's most inspired thinkers. Since 2006, the talks have been offered for free viewing online with over 1,000 talks viewed nearly 500 million times among a growing global audience. Speakers are given 18 minutes to present their ideas. Since 2006, the okay, the stated mission of the nonprofit is to build a clearinghouse that offers free knowledge and inspiration from the world's most inspired thinkers. Since 2006, the talks have been offered for free viewing online with over 100 talks viewed nearly 500 million times and among a growing global audience. Speakers are given 18 minutes to present their ideas. Who knew, who knew 18 minutes could change the world? Who knew 18 minutes could change the world? We are speakers hired. We are speakers hired. Why are speakers? I'm so sorry for this. Why are speakers hired? Speakers are hired as keynoters to motivate, inspire, or entertain. They are hired as trainers for breakout sessions to educate. They are hired as private consultant to private consultants to improve a business. Sometimes they are hired as MCs or to host and lighten up the event. I have sometimes been hired to do all four for a conference. I'll do an early morning, wake them up, keynote, then an afternoon breakout session as a trainer, followed by MCing their awards banquet, and continue the next day with private coaching for management on presentation skills. Speakers on sale. If I have to pay for a keynoter to fly in one mile in one, yes, might as well get more value by having them. Also do a breakout session. This gives attendees an opportunity to dig deeper into the keynote topic with a hands-on interactive. Sandy Buyback, CMP, founder of Imagination. Okay, so very often in large meetings, attendees will be divided into smaller groupings called breakout sessions. These sessions are usually 45 to 90 minutes. 90 minutes, okay. One hour. 1.5 hours. long and have specific skill building topics. They are also more informed with audience interaction and a speaker who usually provides a workbook. Breakout speakers don't get paid nearly as much as a keynoter whose sessions can be answers be anywhere. Okay, get paid. So speaker who usually provides a workbook. Breakout speakers don't get paid nearly as much as a keynoter, whose sessions can be anywhere from a few hours to all the training to to great. Okay, whose sessions can be anywhere from a few hours to all the trainings to year-long training contacts. The most popular topics are sales, leadership, communication. Okay, the most popular top. Okay, so breakout speakers don't get paid nearly as much as a keynoter, whose whose sessions can be anywhere from anywhere can be anywhere sessions can be anywhere from a few hours to all day trainings to year long training contacts. The most popular topics are sales, leadership, communication, and presentation skills. Communication. Okay. Leadership, communication, and presentation skills. Most speakers land these lucrative year-long consulting contracts because they used a keynote to promote their training businesses. To promote their training businesses, this book is focused on developing a keynote speech for you. Hey, come on. Keynoting is the holy grail of speaking, or as my Jewish grandmother would say, the keynoter is the big matcher. It is the highest paid position. As with breakout sessions, a keynoter will usually speak between 45 and 90 minutes and address the entire group. Keynoters are usually hired for a morning, after lunch, or closing keynote. Uh, Closing keynote. A keynote is the centerpiece of your speaking career, and having a strong one will open doors to open doors to additional. Who hires a speaker? Why are speakers hired? Who hires a speaker? Who hires a speaker? Okay, very often companies will use speakers from within their company. Very often companies will use speakers from within their company. Most of these internal speakers are not professionals and rarely get paid, although they get other things such as appreciation, acknowledgement, and career advancement For larger meetings, companies and organizations will hire an outside speakers. For larger meetings, companies and organizations will hire an outside speakers, meaning someone not associated with their company to deliver a professional speech designed to motivate and entertain their group. They find these outside speakers via a speaker bureau. A speakers bureau is an agent who books speakers for clients. Unlike Hollywood talent agents who have exclusive representation of their talent, speakers bureaus unusually do not have exclusivity of their clients and are able to book and take commissions from all speakers. How speakers bureaus find a speaker? How speakers bureaus find a speaker? To find the right speaker for a client, we ask the meeting planners, what message do you want the audience to leave with? This determines not only the type of speaker but the speaker's position on their program. Not everyone can be a closing keynoter. A closing keynote needs a rousing call to action to leave the audience with a powerful message. Kelly MacDonald Hill, Senior VP Agent, Speakers Spotlight, Elevator. Oh my God, bless you. Have a healthy and happy life forever. Have a brilliant life forever. And your family. Elevator pitches from the pros. Too many leaders overcomplicate their jobs. In reality, a leader's success hinges on a few simple behaviors that require remarkable levels of discipline based on the model in my first best-selling book, The 5 Temptations of a CEO, Chief Executive Officer. I've captured the natural human tendencies that plug you all leaders and often prevent them from fulfilling their potential. Patrick Lencioni, business visionary and thought leader, and take commissions from all speakers. Some speakers find themselves working with as many as 30 different bureaus. For bureaus, the company or association is the most important client, not the speaker. The bureaus work with meeting planners to assist them to find the perfect speaker. They take 25% up to 50% of a speaker's salary for any job they book. That's why most speakers prefer to deal directly with the client, since this is the person who is writing the check. The client can be a professional meeting planner, a committee or the administrator who got stuck with the job of organization and entire conference with more and more speakers. YouTube videos on the internet. Many clients work directly with the speakers themselves rather than hiring via a bureau. It's also why you will need to develop a strong web presence for your career. You want to be able to attract certified meeting planners or CMPs. Large companies usually have a department of CMPs in charge of all aspects of meeting management, from establishing themselves themes, sorry sorry management, from establishing themes to hiring the speakers from smaller events. Sometimes the meeting planner is not a CMP, but rather the unlucky and already overloaded company receptionist for big events. Very often committees are formed and their members search the internet to find speakers. Then the committee as a whole decides on which on one to hire. You attacked a CMP. CMP having a great elevator pitch. An elevator pitch is a quick synopsis of a speech. Think of it as a way to tell people what to talk about in the time it takes to travel in an elevator. It takes to travel in an elevator from the parking level to the lobby. Elevator pitches are probably the most rehearsed two sentences of any speech, as many speakers are booked by tantalizing a meeting planner with a well-crafted haiku version of their message during a short conversation in an elevator, in line at a bathroom, or on an airport shuttle. It's usually said in terms of problem solving, such as how hard it is these days for sales people to get new clients. I show them how they can double the number of new clients via the power of professional connections. Big or small, paid or unpaid, every big book will require a contract that contains the terms of the engagement, including fees, travel expenses, accommodations, requirements such as sound check and cancellation policy, and other events details. The contract writer usually has the audio or video requirements of the presentation, including PowerPoint needs and type of microphone, as well as miscellaneous stuff such as audience seating and no green M&Ms. Well, that's just for the rough starts of speaking. You will also need to have a fee schedule, which is a fancy terms for a speaker's pricing sheet. It usually lists a speaker's fees for keynotes, breakouts, and trainings, prices for educational materials, and discounts for local gigs and benefits. Back of the room board or back of the room sales. Christine Cashin speaks on the fun factor in business and life. In her keynote, she demonstrates the power of playing with props to relieve stress. At the end of her keynote, people swarm to buy her bundles that include her book, The Good Stuff, as well as DVDs, Clown Moses, and Fang Frogs. In part 3 of this book, I talk more about marketing materials, and I also discuss back of the room sales. Viewer. Many speakers make the bulk of their money not from their speaking fee, but rather from selling supplemental materials such as books, DVDs, CDs, T-shirts, consultations, and other products and services after they speak. Great. You can check out these basic marketing tools on the website marketourspeech.com. There you can find a listing of fees, schedules, sample contacts, and additional resources to help support your new career or to serve as comparisons against your own current marketing materials. Which speakers succeed? That's probably the easiest question to answer. The speakers who succeed are the ones with a great speech that offers practical content and is funny throughout. Practical content and is funny throughout. Practical content, funny throughout. As they say in Hollywood, funny is money. Funny is money. Funny is money. Practical content, funny throughout. Hollywood, funny is money. Practical content. Practical content, funny throughout. Hollywood, funny is money. Practical content, funny throughout. Hollywood, funny is money. Practical content, funny is money. Funny throughout. Hollywood, funny is money. Practical content, funny throughout. Hollywood, funny is money. Practical content, funny throughout. Hollywood, funny is money. What makes a great speech? There actually is a formula. Add to. Okay. Add to the mix humor and inspiration, and you have got a great speech. I'll discuss that formula and how to inspire and add humor in depth in part 2. But for now, you need to know the components you will be creating. 1. Your speaker introduction. One of the most overlooked yet important parts of speech is the way a speaker is introduced, as it sets up the core premise of the speech, establishes a speaker's expertise, and sets the tone for the speech. 2. Your pool of expertise. To talk the talk, you have to have walked the walk. The message of you has to be backed up by your professional credentials. These include traditional credits such as academic degrees, job experience, published works, and media exposure. It also includes non-traditional ones such as reality show appearances, a large number of social media followers, and not interesting, but try to be not too much. Little try to secrecy. It's good. It's great. Followers and others. These successes in life not only give you credibility, but will also help to narrow down your choice of vocable topics, attract your audience, and define the core promise for each speech you write. It should be noted that even if you are a survivor, you must also qualify as an expert. These successes in life not only give you credibility, but will also help you narrow down your choice of vocable topics, attract your audience, and define the core promise for each speech you write. 1. Your speaker introduction. One of the most important. One of the most overlooked yet important parts of speech is the way a speaker is introduced, as it sets up the core promise of the speech. Three books of that. Yes. Oh, awesome. Powerful. Core promise of the speech establishes a speaker's expertise. Yes, core promise of the speech establishes a speaker's expertise and sets the tone for the speech to your proof of expertise. To talk the talk. You have to have walk the walk. The message of you has to be backed up by your professional credentials. These include traditional credits such as academic degrees, published job experience, published works, published works. Okay, published work. These include traditional credits such as academic degrees, job experiences, published works. Those are self-improvement books, women empowerment books that everyone is going to read, all human beings, daily, forever. And media exposure. Okay, and media exposure, the reality, what people know. It also includes non-traditional ones such as reality show appearances, a large number of social media followers, and others. These successes in life not only give you credibility but will also help to narrow down your choice of bookable topics, attract your audience, and define the core promise for each define the core promise for each speech you write. It should be noted that even if you are a survivor, you must also qualify as an expert. You must be able to show that you have gone from victim to victor by creating or participating in an organization that helps other survivors by speaking at charity events, by having a popular blog, winning awards, or some other credential. It's one thing to have a compelling story about what happened to you, but you must have found found a way to use that story to help and inspire others. 3. Your action steps. These are a speaker's methodology. They are the specific doable steps that audience members can use to solve the problem that your speech addresses. These action steps come from a speaker's personal and professional experiences rather than a Google search. Yes, I repeat, these are a speaker's methodology. They are the specific doable steps that audience members can use to solve the problems that your speech addresses. These action steps come from a speaker's personal and professional experience. The experience I am now accumulating and collecting into my brain by purchasing this experience, by giving and spending the money of hard work and smart work, by following experts, by following leaders of my field, wherever I want to go. Experiences rather than a Google search. It might help, although you have to collect your own experiences by doing hard work and your professional experiences. And Google says, okay, so these steps are a part of the message of you. Speeches can have one action step or many. Larry Winget, who is known as the pitbull of personal development, Larry Winget, who is known as the pitbull of personal development, puts his puts his puts his in the title of his book. Shut up, stop whining, whining, and get alive, and get alive, and get alive. For your support stories, the message of you is communicated via stories. As an artist uses paint, speakers use stories to communicate and enhance their message. A speaker will make a point, then tell a story that illustrates their point, and then make their point again. Speakers collect stories not only from their lives but from other people's lives, and these become known as a speaker's support stories. 5. Your heart story. When by the way, you can't think when. Yeah, let's see. Usually toward the end of a speech, a speaker will tell a touching heart story. This shows how the speaker's core promise works in real life situations. A heart story usually packs an emotional punch and takes the audience on a moving journey that can inspire change and transformation. Some are 5 minutes long, and some speakers base their entire speech around one long heart story. No matter the length, all heart stories include a eureka moment. 6. Your call to action. The call to action is used to wrap up speed and to appeal to the audience to take action based on what they have learned from your message. It's usually a very simple action that they can do right away, such as vote, write an email, volunteer, and so on. 7. Your core promise. Our core promise is a succinct 1 or 2 sentence statement. In that 1 or 2 sentence statement, your core promise. It's 1 or 2 sentence statement that includes the problem your speech will address and the solution you will present to your audience. The core promise is the core promise of your speech. Get that. Your promise is your promise. Your promise is your promise. Each speech has its own core promise, but every speech you write and every core promise you develop should always relate to your brand, the larger message of you. On the surface, of core promise seems too simple, but it often takes speakers pages and pages of writing, sometimes years of hit and miss attempts to boil down and refine their core promise into a few easily understood sentences. It's my job to help you skip all those hit and miss years and help you hone in on your message much faster. Essentially, your core promise must reference your topic, your audience's problem, your solutions, and why you qualify to offer those solutions. The core promise of each speech is very important. It is inextricably linked with the message of you. That's why we are going to spend the vast majority of part 1 of this book helping you to identify and write your core promise and the eight message of you. The message of you is your brand. It is what your stand is. It is what you stand for. It's what you are famous for or want to become famous for. It's your life work as well as the lessons you have already learned. It's what you will be remembered for when you die. It's forever, sis. It's your legacy. Think about any president's speech. There are the folksy and personal stories meant to humanize, but underneath every story, behind every word, is a driving point of view, an agenda, a message that must be driven home. Obama got elected on a two on a three-word message of you, hope and change. Hope and change. Obama got elected on a three-word message. Obama got elected on a three-word message of you, hope and change. And reading creates happiness. Simple. Reading creates happiness. Simple. So simple. Reading creates happiness. In order to, yes, it's true. I can live for this, I can die for this, and I can make myself forever living being, forever living culture, creature for this. Okay. Reading creates happiness. Reading creates happiness. Great. In order for him to discuss change, he had to qualify to speak on it by using personal and professional experiences. Reading create happiness. Reading create happiness. Reading create happiness. He had to present change as his core promise. He had to present change as his core promise. A combination that showed that he held to solution to America's problem. He knew that people were losing their homes and having trouble paying bills, and he promised his policy would change that. Actually, the biggest disconnect between a politician and the public is the lack of implementing their message. As a speaker, we have to make good. As a speaker, we have to make good on what we promise. Understanding the message of you is not a step you can skip just because you are not the president, as it is absolutely essential to any speech you write. Not only is it the foundation upon which you will build your keynote, but it is also necessary for all of your marketing materials, including your website, handouts, PR, and press releases. Without the message of you will be lost. Your audience will be lost without the message of you. And your core promise won't matter. So core promise is very, very important. Think about any president speech. There are the folksy and personal stories meant to humanize, but underneath every story, behind every word, is a driving point of view, an agenda, a message that must be driven home. Obama got elected on a three-word message of you, hope and change. Okay. Your core promise. That's reading creates happiness. Reading creates happiness. Reading creates happiness. Reading creates happiness. Core promises from working pro speakers. Core promises from working pro speakers. Let's look at a few examples from successful speakers who are already out there bringing their messages to boardrooms, conference centers, living rooms, pulpits. Now it will be very joyful for me. Yes. Reading creates happiness. Reading creates happiness. Reading creates happiness. Pulpits and gatherings across the world. These are speakers earning large sums of money by providing solutions to real life solutions to real life and business problems in an entertaining way. Their speeches actually transform audiences using humor, drama, stories, and personal relations, all wrapped around a singular message. Lisa Ford, why customer service is not enough. There is a reason today's customer service remains mediocre at best. Lisa Ford, why customer service is not enough. There is a reason today's customer service remains mediocre at best. Lack of committed strategy. In today's world, your company's customer service and customer experience must be decidedly different. You have the opportunity to make these things happen. When audiences listen to me, they walk away with a proven strategy for enhancing customer service and building customer loyalty, and with the enthusiasm to actually put these strategies to work immediately. Joe Calloway, the category of one. Whether it's Apple, Southwest Airlines, Starbucks, or the great pizza place down the street, category of one. Companies win because their cultures drive results. What does your culture drive? Reading creates happiness. I do one thing. I help your company become a category of one. Beverly Kirkhardt, how to turn setbacks into comebacks. Every day, thousands of people become victims of life-shattering events like a cancer diagnosis. Instantly, they are faced with the challenge of how to thrive and persevere in the face of adversity. As a breast cancer survivor since 1993, I offer practical and proven way professionals, caregivers, cancer patients, and others can turn their setbacks into comebacks and emerge as stronger, more positive people. All professional speakers have found a simple but effective way to mash up their life lessons and their expertise into a message that encompasses the audience's problems and also suggests a solution. It's a simple formula: audience plus problem plus professional experience plus personal experiences or methodology equals to successful results, inspiring results, and prosperous results for yourself, for people, for audience, and for everyone, for forever, always, daily, forever. You know how insert your audience, your new sales team, parents, doctors, admin staff, office staff, or volunteers. Once you are clear on the message of you, then you will be able to identify who you are speaking to. If you are just starting out as a speaker, your audience probably be the people you work with, the school the school your kid attends, or one of the organizations you already belong to. Have this problem, they have this problem, they insert problem, can't get work done at work because of too many meetings, are stressed and overwhelmed from working longer hours, facing emotional burnout, working on the oncology ward, aren't attracting new clients, can't get customers to their website, have too much paperwork. Addressing the specific problems facing your audience will not only give you a connection to them, but be great fodder for getting laughs. From my experiences inside professional experience, working 15 years in HR, headlining comedy clubs, or working at JPL, this is where you tell the audience a story about how you have come to understand their problem along the way. Name drop and include your client credentials. Prevent bad, yeah, must, yeah, and become passionate, yeah, couple daily forever. As well as would be believe as well as would you believe inside personal experiences, fly fishing, surviving my own teenager, learning how to snowboard at 50, getting ill with cancer and surviving against all odds. This part of the core promise will turn into your heart story, where you pull at their heartstrings by telling a personal story about how you dealt with the problem and won. Yes, I show the audience how they can insert results or promise of speech, increase sales, be better parents, increase efficiency, deal with change, have the home they dreamed of, increase their income by 30%. This is the specific result you will give your audience. Be careful about how much you promise. You have got 1 hour, probably not enough time to promise they will earn $1 million and $1 billion. Okay, probably not enough time to promise they will earn $1 million. Let go of all their stress, never have a difficult customer, or be able to bench press 100 pounds. By insert your methodology using their sense of humor, by connecting to clients, by appreciating what they have. Okay, what they have, rather what they don't have. You are going to need to develop a methodology method that will achieve what you promised. This is your methodology or your technique. You will find yours in chapter 4 by examining the steps you took to become successful. Now you don't have to be able to fill in those blanks just yet. In the next few chapters, I'm going to ask you to write a lot about yourself. Write a lot about yourself. Some of the exercises might not even make sense to you, or some might start you writing for hours, wondering what this has to do with finding the message of you. Trust me. All of these exercises are designed to help you find the right message for the right audience. It would be great if there was a direct highway to find the message of you. But as in any fun trip, we are going to get off the main highway and examine all the country lanes, the different aspects of your life. It may seem that you are trying to put together a complicated jigsaw puzzle where nothing seems to fit together, but hang in there and start with the first step of finding the message of you in your life experiences. Start with your death. Exercise, write your eulogy. The message of you, the message of you may be just as invisible to you as it was to Chastity Davis from chapter 1. Now this might seem weird to you, but writing about what others will say about you when you are gone will give you a very quick idea about a possible message of you. Have you ever been to a funeral of someone you didn't know too well? If you did, you might have found that listening to the eulogy you got a pretty good idea of the message of their life. For some people that message is a personal one. The person was a loving mother or father, and the message that emerges is family first, or maybe at someone else's funeral, all the remembrance relate to career achievement, and the message that emerges is leader and innovator. In this exercise, I want you to write 2 eulogies for yourself about you. One would be what you would imagine a coworker, boss or client would say about you at your funeral. The second eulogy would be what you would imagine a loved one, family member or friend would say about you. In both of these eulogies include what difference will they say you made in their lives, what skills will they say they learned from you, what stories will they tell about you, what will they say was the meaning of those stories, what will they want people to know about you. Until unless Mr. Elon Musk make the Neuralink chip to insert in everyone's brain to make their habit well, to make their brain improved brain, good brain. Okay, reading is the real chip. So like this, reading creates happiness. If his chip will get successful, then chip creates happiness. Yes, once you have finished writing both eulogies, call up your buddy and make a date, get together and read the eulogies aloud. Ask your buddy the following questions: what themes did you hear? What themes did you hear? What did I teach others? What would you describe as my gift to others? What was the meaning of my life? Which stories seemed to sum me up? Which stories seemed to sum me up? Oops, nobody. Most of the exercises in this book are designed to be done with a buddy. If you don't have one, let me fix you up. Go to my speakerbuddy.com to help you find the perfect person to work with. You don't even have to live in the same city, as online sessions work just as well as in person. Don't worry if no message of you leaves yet. Perhaps you are reading this book so that when you do die, people will say that when they heard you speak. You made a dramatic difference life in their life because you cared enough about others to share yourself. Wouldn't that be something? Yes, and something is, but I always say or 7:41. Okay, main thing is it will I need best. I survive on bestest, greatest number one. Okay, chapter 2 checklist. Selected which speaking categories I fit into, identified my speaking challenges, emailed Judy my update speaking goals, wrote eulogy as a co-worker, wrote eulogy as a loved one, met with my buddy to share the eulogies, brainstormed possible message of you, genuine, diverse, many pledge. My pledge is any TEDx. Okay. Chapter 3. Turn your miss into message. In 2003, around Ralston's extraordinary human drama grabbed headlines around the world. That's right, my dog has been mugged, not me, and I had to run the poor thing to an emergency clinic right before I was supposed to go on stage in Long Island. I was in no mood to be funny, and I was late. I got to the club and it became clear instantly that God had titled the world on its side, and all the scumbags had trickled into this particular corner of the university. They were drunk, they were mean, and before I even stepped foot on the stage, they were heckling me. I hadn't even said a word yet. I pushed through part of my routine, and I had a joke that started with the line, "I worry about getting old," and some guy in the front row snorted sarcastically and yelled, "Getting old? Getting old?" insinuating that I was already well past my prime. I was in my early 30s by the way. I don't know what happened, but something in my broke open at that moment. I stopped and stood perfectly still. It hit me so clearly. Here I was standing in front of a bunch of drunks trying to make them laugh, just as I did a kid in my own family. It was a eureka moment where ha turned into aha moment. I was totally done. I walked off stage, picked up my dog, and went home to figure out what I would do next. I formed a company called Comedy Workshops and started teaching stand-up comedy. I wrote 2 books, stand-up comedy, the book, and the comedy Bible, to help aspiring comics craft their material and take it on the road. Oprah Winfrey booked me for her show, and I became known as the comedy guru. the go-to girl for launching the careers of America's top comics. I got so much press that thousands of students lined up to study with me via my Los Angeles workshops, as well as via online classes, teleseminars, and international classes in Canada, Russia, Sweden, okay, Australia, and Germany. Things were going well, and I was paying the bills, but I missed performing. About that time, I uh, about that time, a friend asked me to speak at her company's annual conference, the Produce and Fruit Association. That the prestige, but all of a sudden, for one gig, I was getting paid 10 times as much as I made doing 9 gigs a week in a comedy club. Here is the weird part. I didn't have to do my act. They paid me to talk about comedy as a topic. I didn't even know what that meant to. So just made something up. I created kind of a mashup from my experiences in of teaching comedy and added a few bits from my act. It was very uneven and awkward, but the audience seemed to enjoy it, even though I had to share the stage with a dancing avocado. Nobody threw anything at my head, and at the end of the talk, they handed me a big check after it was over. All I could think was speaking for a living rocks. How do I do this full time? I started researching the speaking business and found there were a lot more speaking gigs available than comedy gigs every day in every city. There are hundreds of meetings and they all need speakers. There were also a lot of perks. Speakers are paid more than comics. They have a full hour to perform in front of sober and appreciative audiences, and best of all, as a speaker, I didn't have to be the hot new up and coming young talent forever. In fact, in the speaking profession, experience, age, and wisdom are actually considered assets and not liabilities. In the speaking profession, experience, age, and wisdom are actually considered assets and not liabilities. I joined the National Speakers Association, where I met speakers who were making six figures every year. Many of these successful speakers had never been on TV, had never been asked for an autograph, and weren't entertainers. Not only but not only did they have vibrant careers, they were really making a difference in people's lives. I wanted what they had. I became obsessed with finding out the secret to their success. It didn't take long to figure it out, even though I had been on hundreds of TV shows and had been nominated for Atlantic City Entertainer of the Year. These speakers had something I didn't. A message ask any professional speaker, "What do you speak about?" and they can summarize in a concise two-sentence phrase. their brand, their message of you, the message of their lives. Even even the survival speakers, the ones who rely heavily on incredible life and death stories, still have a message to impart to their audiences. The same was true for the more technical speakers who gave informational type talks on taxes, finance, and computer programming. Even they included a motivational message along with their facts and figures. No matter the speaker or the topic, everyone had one thing in common. They all included a message that was designed to inspire an audience to make tomorrow a better day than today. Yes, great. Yes, to make tomorrow a better day than tomorrow. Yes, no matter the speaker or the topic, everyone had one thing in common. They all included a message that was designed to inspire an audience to make tomorrow a better day than today. No matter the speaker or the topic, everyone had one thing in common. They all included a message that was designed to inspire an audience to make tomorrow a better day than today. No matter the speaker or the topic, everyone had one thing in common. They all included a message that was designed to inspire an audience to make tomorrow a better day than today. No matter the speaker or the topic, everyone had one thing in common. They all included a message that was designed to inspire an audience to make tomorrow a better day than today. No matter the speaker or the topic, everyone had one thing in common. They all included a message that was designed to inspire an audience to make tomorrow a better day than today. They all included a message that was designed to inspire an audience to make tomorrow a better day than today. No matter the speaker or the topic, everyone had one thing in common. They all included a message that was designed to inspire an audience to make tomorrow a better day than today. Everyone is great, everyone is best, everyone is good, great, and everyone is number one person, best person, man or woman. So for that, one more time, no matter the speaker, yes, in the world, in the whole, and forever, no matter the speaker or the topic, everyone had one thing in common. They all included a message that was designed to inspire an audience to make tomorrow a better day than today. As a stand-up comic, message didn't matter. My act was a series of disconnected jokes about everything: dieting, pets, relationships, and politics. Whatever was on my mind. I had tons of material but no message, and I had no idea how to find one. I read every book on public speaking and the speaking industry I could find. I learned a great deal about marketing and how to keep my hands from flailing about, but there was no book on how to find the message or even how to write a speech. Okay. A speech is so much. A speech. I learned about BOR, back of room, sales, how to have a dazzling website, and how to negotiate a contract even if I was a dummy. Where was the book that could help me find my message? It didn't exist. I realized I was going to have to figure this out myself. Stumbling through self-doubt and fear, I took classes, I watched other speakers, and I began to recognize a pattern. The professional speakers that were most successful were able to convey their message because they were considered experts in their field. From accountants to cancer survivors, salesmen to system analysts, athletes to astronauts, they had examined their own success and failures to develop their own step-by-step methodology that could help others be just as successful. I asked myself, how am I an expert? And looked at my career as a magician, comic, and teacher. I examined my life story of growing up with a severely disabled sister in a family where daddy getting angry was as scary as an LA earthquake. It took a lot of work, but I finally found the message of me. Underneath my stories was a larger message about the transformational power of humor. My message of me was right under my nose the whole time, but I was too close to see it. I had the ruby slippers all along. My message of me combined all the elements of my life. When I was a teacher, I used humor to help my students learn. When I was a teacher, I used humor to help my students learn. With my disabled sister Masha, making her laugh created many moments of happiness in her otherwise tragic life. At the dinner table, laughter could ease tense situations and diffuse conflict. Playing a comedy gig in Vegas, I could wake up a dead audience. Teaching stand-up comedy, I have helped so many of my students overcome the tragedies in their lives by turning their problems into punchlines. I knew how to teach the principles of comedy to stand-up students, but now I realized comedy wasn't just for showbiz types. I saw humor as a life and business tool that could be used to decrease stress, resolve conflict, and improve health and improve health and improve health in the workplace. Yes, I had my message of me. Woohoo! Oh, great! It is going on. Wow, it is going to complete, man. It is going to complete. Great, man. Wow, thank you, God. Let's do it. I honed my speech by speaking for free at charity events, chambers of commerce, hospitals, churches, basically any organization within 30 miles of my house got a call. At first, I sucked. Note to self, don't say suck. At a corporate gig, and it took me years to figure out how to frame my message to truly motivate and transform others. I had to find stories that were not only funny and entertaining but also revealing and supported my message after much trial and error, but also revealing. It took me years to figure out how to frame my message to truly motivate and transform others. Make better others' life also. After much trial and error, note to self: do not mention at a business meeting. Note to self: do not mention myths at a business meeting. I became an in-demand speaker presenting for Fortune. Presenting for Fortune 500 companies, traveling the world, sharing the stage with President Clinton and other high-profile speakers, flying on private jets and speaking in front of some of the most powerful movers and shakers in the world. Along the way, I learned how to market myself, get agents interested, find gigs, create board, back of room sales, and brand myself as an expert. When Chastity called me for help, it made me realize that someone needed to write the book you are reading. As I crisscrossed the world for my speaking engagements, more and more people told me their stories of dreams fulfilled, passions unearthed, and funny, dramatic, and even tragic parts of their lives. It was clear that all of them wanted to be heard, and that many of their stories were absolutely fascinating. Okay, a few of them. Come on, read, learn, and change your life. Yes. Make your life happy. I'm making my life happy. You, whatever field you are in, search best book, of your field and read that, learn that, become best, become good and best in your field, in your health field, in your right understanding. Increase your read self-improvement books. Search online self-improvement books, purchase and read. Please improve your life. It's my request. Read, learn, and improve. A few of them, but I tuned my ears to hear something underneath their stories, their messages that not only entertained but had the potential to make dramatic differences in other people's lives by helping people stand up in front of others and transform their messages into well-crafted speeches. I felt that I too might contribute in some small way to the betterment of our world by helping Chastity write a genuinely moving speech to inspire hundreds of Canadian volunteers. I might actually be helping the environmental movement become more than just recycling. It was an amazing thought, and it's the reason I wrote this book. I'm here to tell you that your life has meaning, your stories can inspire, and your message can heal. Your TED Technology, Entertainment and Design talk. See chapter 2 for more information is already inside of you. Sound naive? Too idealistic. In my 25 years on the yes, it is going to be happening. Yes, come on, more 5 minutes, come on. Speaking circuit and coaching other speakers, I have seen it happen over and over again. A person who feels they are nobody steps up, tells their story, and discovers that they truly are somebody in this world. I see the surprise on their face when people in the audience line up to hug them and tell them that their stories made a difference in their lives. Unfortunately, most people don't know where to begin. Amateur speakers usually will tell their story in chronological order as a list of this happened, then this happened, and then this happened. That is more of an exercise in narcissism than an effective speech, mind you. I didn't find my message of me when I was giving my first speech. After much trial and error, I branded myself as a stress reduction speaker, who showed corporate America how to use comedy skills to relieve stress. In order to find my message of me, I had to examine my own journey, identify my life lessons, my professional credentials, as well as what bookable topics corporate America would be interested in hearing about. The combination of those elements created the message of me. Repeat this. And create more better world and whole. I then used that information to create the core promise for each of my speeches, to develop my methodology, my action steps, and to choose my heart story. This book will walk you through that identical process, saving you the painful trial and error of flopping in front of a live audience. Wait, what process exactly? So now you are going to ask me, but Judy, how do I identify which of my stories is my heart story? What are action steps? How can I possibly boil down the experiences of my life into one message, one core promise? And what the heck is a core promise anyway? And what does all this have to do with the speech I have to give to a room full of nurses or executives or socialites or new parents or drug addicts next month? Help. Okay, take a breath. And let's start at the beginning. Let me give you an overview of my process. I'm going to try not to throw too much at you at once. If you just go through the chapters one by one and do all the exercises 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 and do all the exercises. It's my request to me first, and whoever who understands, who want to improve, who want to create happy life. Okay, go and search. I'm going to look. Okay, listen. Come on. Okay, if you just go through the chapters one by one, and do all the exercises. If you just go through the chapters one by one and do all the exercises, if you just go through the chapters one by one and do all the exercises, if you just go through the chapters one by one and do all the exercises, if you just go through the chapters one by one and do all the exercises, if you just go through the chapters one by one and do all the exercises, if you just go through the chapters one by one and do all the exercises, you will succeed in finding your message, creating your speech, getting bookings, and making a difference for making the world a better place to live, to everybody. Okay, black, white, small, big, to make bad into good, to make good into more good, forever. Read, learn, improve, and make happy life, create happy life for yourself, forever, and for your family. Thank you very much. I have completed. Okay, so for the celebration of that, yes, I've completed 24-hour challenge. It's actually 26 hours. I'm showing with the timing. Okay, see, this is the, as you can see, it's 12:35. Okay, so yesterday on 10:31 I had started water fasting plus reading 24 hours. Okay, and it's now 12:36 minutes 35, so 2 hours extra. I have completed the challenge. It was not so easy. Okay, it's very, very dangerous. Please do not try. Okay, if you want, then please learn about this. Okay, consider doctor. Okay, before doing any water fast, anything, learn about it and inform your doctor first, then try. Okay, so I've completed this, and thanks a lot to you for giving me well wishes, and thanks a lot to God, thanks a lot to nature, thank you very much to everyone, whoever, whatever has helped me during this. God bless all of you. Have a healthy, wealthy, happy life forever.